Okay, Paula Radcliffe, thanks for having us here. And had you ever been in Valencia?
I don't think I have, no. Maybe I raced here in 1990 as a junior.
Joyceline Jepkosgei broke the half marathon world record last November here in Valencia, and in a different course from the one that will be run in March. Did you follow the race?
I didn't follow it. I followed it online, but not actually watching the pictures. But I was able to catch up on some video of the closing stages later.
Considering that your half marathon best was 1:5:40, do you think she's able to replicate your performance on the marathon when she jumps up to the full race?
It's not a science where you can just double it, but certainly she shows the potential to be able to run very well at the marathon. The marathon is it's a funny race. Sometimes you have to try it to see if it's the event for you. Some people like Tedesse, Veritrea, run very, very fast on the half marathon and never able to translate to the marathon. Other people find it very easy to step from half marathon to marathon. So I think she has the potential to run very fast, yes.
Talking about your 2:15:25, the world record, the women's world record still today, do you think you could have lowered that time along your career?
Yeah, I think there were times when I finished the race, I believed that I could come back in the next race or the race after that and improve it again. It didn't happen. I think maybe I got into shape to be able to do it, but there wasn't the race at that time, and then I got injured. So I think that just shows that with the marathon in particular, you need a little bit of good luck. You need to be in good shape, but to also have the race on the right day with perfect conditions and for things just to feel right.
When you ran the women's world record, the men's world record was 2:5:38, less than 10 minutes apart from your record. And then Paul Tergat ran in 2:4:55, and well, now it's common to see men running under 2:5. But still, it's rare to see women under 2:20. What is happening with women marathon?
I think it's more that, to be honest, for a long time, within the men's racing, it was a lot of big races and big names racing each other, and more interested in trying to win the race than to run hard. And I think just the way that I raced, I wanted to see how fast I could go. So I was able to push myself very hard in the races. Maybe that meant then I have a shorter career. And I think now especially there is more of money to be made in marathon racing. And so people want to have a longer career. And I don't think you can have both. You can't run fast and long a lot of times. You have to choose one or the other.
After your career was over, what was that thing you thought you could have achieved but couldn't?
No, the Olympics. Yeah, definitely the Olympics, because many times it didn't work for me. Even in 2000 on the track in the 10,000 meters, I wasn't good enough. I ran my best race, but I wasn't good enough to win a medal. But then in Athens and in Beijing and in London, I wasn't even able to start. But in Athens and Beijing, I wasn't able to give it my best effort. So that's for me the area where...
You've been a long time sponsored by Nike. You wore the famous Nike Marathon, and many of us sneaker freaks fell in love with them after seeing you run with these shoes. Which were your favorite running shoes in all of your career?
I think maybe the Zoom Marathon, because I was very privileged. I was able to work with the designers and basically to build my perfect shoe and then to get good results in that shoe. So that was very special. The Jasari spike as well, for me, was a favorite spike. I still have some in the cupboard for when my children grow big enough to wear them, because I ran personal bests, 3,000 meters, 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters in those. But now I tried also the Vaporfly 4%, and maybe I could run 2:12 in these. No, but they're definitely a very comfortable shoe to run in. It's very responsive and very light, but at the same time your legs feel very good after having run a long distance, and that's significant.
Nike has been one of the brands who has made major efforts in the famous under 2-hour marathon. What would be the equivalent in the women's record of the under 2-hour marathon?
That's, I think, the dilemma now, because the equivalent would probably be, I don't know, would it be, do you have to pick a marker? So either you pick 2:10 or you pick 2:15. 2:10 I think is a long way away, but then also 2 hours is very hard to break. So for me, of course I will say this because it's my record is there to be beaten too, but I think it's better to concentrate on racing and doing it in record situations so that it will count, because otherwise we create confusion, and we should be trying to simplify the promotion of our sport.
Well, after your career is over, can you remember that one? Can you say that one training session you still remember?
I think there's many sessions that I still remember. Many I forgot, and many were very hard. But I think, yes, I have key sessions where I know it went very well, and it gave me a lot of confidence. So key sessions ahead of the world record in London, ahead of Chicago, and also on the track before races. I can still remember a time trial I raced in training with my husband in Sydney before the 10,000 meters, where I ran a personal best for 1,500 meters.
Your physiotherapist, Gerard Hartmann, once said that you were the most professional athlete he had ever known. How was your daily routine during your career?
I guess it was a very boring, very focused routine. So a lot of sleep for recovery, and then hard training. So I used to get up, have something small to eat, drink, and then go and train, and then come back, stretch, shower, eat again for recovery, and then physio, massage, something like this, exercises, and then nap again, and then wake up, train again.
How much did you sleep?
Usually 10, 11 hours at night, and then 1.5 to 2 hours in the afternoon.
So 13, 14 hours per day. Okay. Norway's Son Remoen ran a week ago the marathon European record in 2:5:48, and he has considerably lowered his time after having lived in Kenya and trained like the Africans. Do you think the only way nowadays a white athlete can beat an African one is by training and living like them?
You look at it one of two ways. I think it's true that you have to invest fully into the training and the recovery, and only focus on this with no distractions. Maybe some time ago it was the Kenyans who thought, okay, we need to train more like the people who are getting the success at the marathons, and now it's come full circle. I do believe that altitude plays a big part, particularly for distance racing, but more than the altitude, I think it's training and living in a place where there are no distractions. You can only focus on hard training. You have all of the things you need to train hard and to eat healthily to recover, but you don't have the other distractions that often in the Western world we have now.
Okay, last question. One of the most important news in athletics world this year was the change of trainer of Mo Farah. Gary Lou, your husband, will be his new trainer. Will the training method be similar or something to do with the one you followed?
I haven't really discussed it too much with my husband, because I think what we have discussed is that Mo is not me. He is Mo, and he's a different athlete, and he comes from different strengths. So what we have discussed is that his highest global ranking is in the 1,500 meters. So then to step up to the marathon, it's a process where I think he has to be patient and to spend a lot of time laying down a good base, and a lot of people will set expectations way up here because he is Olympic champion so many times, world champion so many times, but I think for him, he wants to first concentrate on learning the marathon, and he is enjoying the fact that it's a fresh start and a fresh challenge.
Okay, thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.